Ripple has fought them to the nail and is winning. We've never seen this before in the SEC. And so you got to wonder, what's going on here? Why are they winning? I'd say it's the people behind the scenes. And, I don't have names for you, or at least ones I want to divulge, but, there's big money behind this. And I'm being told that the adoption of the XRP token to be money transferring for banks is around the corner after this season.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin, here with my brother Aaron, and very excited to have Ben of BitBoy Crypto, the largest cryptocurrency channel on the interwebs, and he'll tell you. Ben, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys know, I actually got passed. We're now the largest crypto community in all the interwebs with almost 5 million followers total. But yeah, we did get passed slightly, just a few thousand. We'll take it back. I'm the undisputed champ. I'm going to get there. Even The Rock lost his belt. But you know what he always did? He always came back. He always took it back. So
he always raised the eyebrow. Well, I was going to say, one of the things that I love about your channel, first off, the amount of the quality and the perspective you offer, that's undeniable. You put out great content, but also you have a platform for smaller creators to sort of talk about niches they may be more of an expert in or they're really passionate about. And you offer the platform to give added quality to your audience. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we believe that perspective is important. And that's why we bring other people that have different opinions. We have people on that love coins that we don't like. We have people that think that institutions are great for crypto. Like we've got people that have all kinds of different perspectives. But we also really love the fact that we look at a lot of it like giving back, kind of like y'all gave me all your secret recipes for success and then I copied it because you didn't think I was a threat. I do the same thing. I like to bring on smaller creators and lift them up. And, because people did it for me, people did it for you. As you know, like you got to pay it back. And or pay it forward, I guess is a better way to say it. And that's what I like to do. And bring on creators. We've had creators that came on that had 1,000 subscribers, and now since coming on our show several times, are at 10,000. And we just love that we're trying to live the entire crypto space up and provide perspective.
All right, so let's get into it, man. We're going to talk to you about XRP, but before we get into that, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the state of the cryptocurrency market right now. I mean, right now it seems to be the market's unclear where Bitcoin's going or where Ethereum's going. What's your take?
Yeah. Well, this month should be good for Ethereum. Theoretically, we do have EIP 1559, which is not just theoretical, it's also like functional. So when these transaction fees actually start getting burned, of course, there's a new Ethereum improvement proposal coming with the London hard fork that will be, burning fees is basically the main thing. It's going to deal with the congestion, deal with the scalability, but it's going to actually make Ethereum more deflationary than inflationary. That's a big problem it's had versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got a max cap. It doesn't. This should put that a little better into order. So I think for Ethereum specifically, I do think we should see that ramping up throughout the month. It's actually been outperforming Bitcoin over the last 7 days, something we've not seen since the crash occurred about 6 weeks ago. So that's very favorable for Ethereum. In terms of the entire market as a whole, I mean, look, it's driven by Bitcoin. We all know this. The Bitcoin cycle still drive it. I do believe Ethereum's got a chance to decouple from Bitcoin if it ever passes it in market cap, which I believe is possible. But for now, it's all that we got. Now, what's really interesting, I keep meaning to do this, and I've not done this yet. I'm going to do this next week. We're actually going to be looking at the average correction from 2017 and then comparing it to the average correction from this cycle. Because what you'll find is in the last cycle, all of the corrections were about 35%. They were anywhere from 30 to 40%. The very highest one was at the very beginning, pretty much of the run. It was 42%. Okay. We did not have a single correction over 42% in the last market cycle. This year, the corrections, the major ones, end of January, even if you go back to the one in November around Thanksgiving, that one, then you had the one at the end of January, then you had the one at the end of February, end of March, end of April. If you look at all those corrections, they were actually averaging about 25% per correction instead of the 30 to 40% from the previous cycle. Now, what happens? That leads to one major large correction that basically brings that average, to a higher correction point where I think it'll be similar to 2017. So I keep meaning to actually work those numbers, but I can tell you just by knowing the numbers generally, the average correction is actually pretty similar. I believe we are in a correction right now for Bitcoin, a mini bear market, whatever you want to call it. I think by the end of this month, we will be heading back up. And I still think that this market will be over, the full bull market will be over by the end of this year, and a bear market next year. I still think around, September, October is when we'll be looking at top of Bitcoin.
And it's interesting because like all the traders you talk to right now, they're bearish. Trading looks bearish. All the fundamental indicators, they're bullish. So we have that divergence. And from my experience, the traders usually control the market in the very short term. Fundamentals usually sort of project the market long term. And that's kind of where we are right now.
That's a great perspective. I agree with that 100%.
One thing that I found really interesting watching your content is you think XRP is going to be one of the best trades of the year, potentially. Before we set that up, could you just set up what is XRP and what is the value proposition for somebody new entering the market?
Yeah, XRP is the banker coin, right? I mean, that's what we all know, the centralized banker coin. The XRP people don't like when I say that, but they do like that I like XRP. So basically what it is Ripple Labs behind it. Obviously they're being sued by the SEC right now, which is a big legal case that's going on, which that's kind of in the backdrop of all of this. But it's a payment protocol basically where, international money transfers, the way it works right now, you have to have the reserve currency, which is the US dollar. And then what'll happen is like, let's say Russia wants to transfer money to Mexico. Russia would have to actually have US dollars and would have to transfer that through to Mexico, and then Mexico would have to convert that to pesos. And the US dollar is in the middle of everything. That's why our economy has been the strongest, because we have the reserve currency. But it's archaic the way that we do it. It takes literally like 5 to 7 days to do those types of money transfers. Well, with Ripple Labs and XRP, it would basically be instantaneous. And so it's a payment rails, greaser to get money transfers across the world a lot quicker. So that is the overall kind of value proposition of XRP. Ripple has several products the banks are using, but a big problem a lot of people have with XRP right now is that the banks aren't actually using the XRP token. They're using the products, but they're not settling in the token. And so a lot of people that are bearish on XRP said people will never use the token and things like that. So what's going on behind the scenes is you have the SEC lawsuit where the SEC is alleging that Ripple Labs, specifically Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, which Jed McCaleb left out of it, even though he was there for all of it, which, still got to wonder, maybe he's a whistleblower and all this stuff. I don't know. But where they made a fortune off of an unregistered security sale. A security sale that, basically promised people a return on investment. Ripple saying, no, we didn't actually do it like that. These laws weren't even made at that point. There was no regulation. How can this be the case? Yada, yada, yada. What the interesting thing that's happened is that the judge in the case seems to be like heavily against the SEC and actually for Ripple Labs. What I'm being told, and what's very obvious from the outside, is this not going well for the SEC. It looked like the SEC was totally going to lose the case. What I'm being told is that right now the SEC is kind of having to punt. That's why they just had an order. I get confused on a little the legal terms here because I'm not a lawyer or a judge. I do judge a lot of people though. But an order to where it extended the case out probably all the way to October before they actually have to come and reconvene and give a ruling. During that time, what the SEC is actually doing is trying to figure out how they're going to give a slap on the wrist to XRP to keep the SEC from getting totally embarrassed and losing the case. They're going to basically offer Ripple like such a sweet deal that's going to be nothing to them that they're just going to accept it for it to be over. So that's kind of going on in the background. That's what I'm hearing is going to happen. And then I got some sources that are telling me some things, but also if you just look at the large context of what's been happening, very obvious SEC is losing. Something I never dreamed was possible at the beginning of this case. I said this could lead to the death sentence for Ripple, basically. That is not proven to be true. I was wrong in the beginning.
Well, and going off that, everything we know about the SEC in terms of going after the big players in the space, and I'm not talking about the pop-up scams, but for example, EOS, they'll work with them. You pay a small fine, way less than you have earned, throughout the years, presumably, and a slap on the wrist, and then they'll let you go on their way. Yeah. Let me paint this picture for you, Ben, just as devil's advocate. As you said, Ripple is a bank. They sell software for banks. Mm-hmm. Over the last decade, many companies have sold software to banks. Ripple why doesn't Ripple have a competitive advantage for printing their own coin? It's been known, this is a fact, it's not FUD. Over the years, they have sold that coin for their profit of the company, whether it's on the market or
absolutely 100%.
or behind closed doors. How is that not a competitive advantage for every other banking software company to then give the go-ahead, well, we're going to print our own coin too?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I think at this point, I can only point you to conspiracies. If you look at some of the banks that Ripple is working with, if you look at Santander and you look at who owns Santander and a lot going on behind the scenes, what I'm being told is that these banks are going to start using it. Santander is going to strong arm a lot of places. And yes, I understand at face value exactly what you're saying. Like, why can any bank just not create this, sell some software, make their own token? It's all about connections, relationships, and people. And when it comes to Ripple, if this has not been very clear yet, they have major connections. What could the bigger play be here? Well, the bigger play would be all of the companies that are invested into Ripple itself will see that Ripple will be able to do this IPO. And if you look at how much money was made from the Coinbase IPO and the waves that it shook across the entire market when it happened, led to Bitcoin's all-time high, you got to think that if Ripple gets through this with a slap on the wrist, goes public, there's a lot of people that have a lot of, whether you call it, a piece of the pie or, hooks into Ripple, whatever it is, there are a lot of people that, will benefit and create, make a lot of money if they do go public. And I think there might be some stuff going on behind the scenes that's pushing this the way it's going to go, because nothing in this is logical. Ripple, if you look at EOS, okay, if you look at what happened with EOS, if you look at what happened with Tezos as well, Tezos was actually in a similar situation. What happened is they just gave up and they said, okay, whatever y'all say. And as soon as they did that, the SEC said, okay, we'll give you a slap on the wrist. Tezos, we won't even come after you. Just pay back all the people that sued you. And so that's what they did. They settled the class action lawsuit against them, and the SEC didn't even come after them. EOS got a huge fine. It was like millions of dollars, but it was like I think it was 1/4% of the total amount of money that they raised. So it was like nothing. There's some other ones. I can't, some of them are escaping me, some of the other cases that we've seen. But Ripple fought against the SEC like nobody we've ever seen do before. Maybe, I'll tell you what, we do have an example of somebody who fought them, which was the KIT token. Ken, they fought against the SEC. They accused the SEC of, basically like planting information out there to make them look bad in order to make them lose the case. Pretty clear that's what happened. And the SEC still ran over them roughshod and basically made them close their token. They did the same thing to Telegram. Telegram, while it's not decentralized, obviously has a lot of stuff that's censorship resistant. That's something also the government doesn't like. Ripple has fought them to the nail and is winning. We've never seen this before in the SEC. And so you got to wonder, what's going on here? Why are they winning? I'd say it's the people behind the scenes. And, I don't have names for you, or at least ones I want to divulge, but, there's big money behind this. And I'm being told that the adoption of the XRP token to be money transferring for banks is around the corner after this is over. And that's not from the XRP army. I want to point that out, because everybody would say, yeah, people have been saying that for years, right? They say it. These sources that are coming to me from different places across the world that are high level connected individuals, these are not XRP army people. This is not Bearable Bear or, Bullable Bear, whatever his name is, saying XRP to $589. These are real connected people in high positions that are giving me this information.
Interesting.
Cool.
So
You want to go?
Well, I was just going to ask, XRP right now is sitting at, I honestly haven't checked, 60 cents, or is it 40 cents? Something.
I think maybe 65 cents today, somewhere around there.
65 cents. Give us the bull case. By the end of the year, obviously nobody can tell the future, but what is the bull case for XRP if everything goes their way?
Yeah. Bull case for XRP would basically be it's 64 cents today, by the way, just looked it up. If by October, before October, okay, this needs to actually be sometime in September, they come to an agreement with the SEC, they get the slap on the wrist, they pay the fine, but the case is done. It's kind of like with Tether, right? We had the Tether FUD forever, and then they settled the case, and everybody's like, well, I mean, we can keep making up FUD, but it's not going to matter. New York already said, whatever, it's fine. Pay your fine and move on. And so we saw it with EOS as well. If that happens for XRP, and the case specifically against Ripple Labs, all that gets cleared away. Suddenly that price suppression that has been going on since, I believe, November or December, early December, I think it was when it broke, somewhere around there. The price suppression that's kept XRP from reaching an all-time high will be totally gone. And then like a rubber band, everybody will be able to trade it and it'll pop right back up. The most bullish case for the end of the year, I think it's going to sound crazy. Are you ready for me to sound crazy? I think $30. I think that's the most possible bullish case for XRP by the end of this year, $30. And that's really not that crazy of a number. If you think about it, that's less than 10 times its previous all-time high in 2017. And if it were not suppressed, if it were to have seen a very similar thing to what Ethereum saw, to where this cycle, it had already peaked out at about 3 times its all-time high, it would have already been at $9 and corrected down to $6 right now. In that case, $30 wouldn't sound, that out of the question. You got to understand, Ripple led 2017. It was the number one, most profitable coin across the board. People put in $100, made 6 figures at certain points during 2016, 2017. The excitement for Ripple is there. And once again, this is not a comment on how great I think Ripple is. I mean, XRP, it's not ever been something that I absolutely love, but I'm just looking at the common sense behind price suppression against something that's been through a lawsuit. And all of a sudden now, all of those worries, all of those concerns, all those people that for years said XRP's they're going to prison. Brad Garlinghouse going to prison. Chris Larson going to prison. When Jed McCaleb's the one that really should be there, by the way, which is he was in charge of basically one of the biggest scandals of all time when he passed off Mt. Gox and got off scot-free on that, scot-free on the Ripple legislation, but whatever, that's a different subject. When all of those dark clouds above the head are gone, then a lot of people are going to be thinking, oh, maybe I should invest in this. As the price rises, it's going to get excitement. It gets the media attention. When the IPO news breaks, just think about it. I think it's definitely possible. I think, somewhere between $12 to $30 is definitely a good estimate for this year, as long as we're still in a bull cycle and we're not like fully in a bear market like some people think we are.
That does sound a little crazy to me, but obviously not everything in a bull market. I've seen a lot crazier, and you're absolutely right. XRP did lead the last bull cycle, and I agree. The price is suppressed right now for good or for bad reasons, depending on how the SEC, how the SEC rules. And from what we know about the SEC, they do like to give slaps on the wrist.
I'm actually curious what our audience thinks about this. Comment below. What do you think about what BitBoy just said? And I guess my final question for you, BitBoy, is the obligatory. So how much XRP do you think a person needs to be a millionaire or just get life-changing wealth? Is that a good way to phrase the question?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, if you look in the short term, because the idea is if we are still in a bull market, like most of us fundamental analysts think that we are, then by the end of the year, the market should top out. And if you look at something like XRP and you say, okay, or go from 60 cents to, $30, what is that, a 50X? So if you were to think about, what amount of money right now could you have that would 50X and, give you a lot? I mean, man, if you put $10,000 in, you can make $500,000 in that case. If you had $20,000, here's something that's really interesting. If you had $20,000, and at 50X, you would have $1 million. Somebody very close to me, I talked about it a little on my stream. I don't want to dox them right now, but somebody very close to me, said they had $20,000. What would I put it in right now to get the best bang for your buck? And I said XRP, believe it or not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about it I disagree with. And that's why I'm caught in the middle of like people that hate XRP and people that love XRP. They don't know what to make of me because I tell you my honest opinion about it fundamentally. But I know there's big stuff happening behind the scenes, and I know about the price suppression. Of course, we definitely want to see a more free crypto market. So we don't want to see a lot of SEC regulation come in because it can have, reverberating effects on other coins that, can just go downhill quickly. But I told this person, put that $20,000 in XRP. They put it in at about 60 cents. And I think it worked out. It was 33,000 XRP is what it was. And, I think that can turn into $1 million by the end of the cycle. It is definitely possible. Definitely 6 figures. I definitely believe by the end.
Awesome conversation. I love the perspective. The links to BitBoy's channel are down below in the video description. And also you can catch Aaron and I on Around the Blockchain on the BitBoy Crypto channel at least once a week. Ben, final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience.
Well, I just want to say, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I love the Altcoin Daily audience. You guys are some smart people. I know we always talk about when we go to meetups, it seems like we share a lot of audience. We have a lot of smart people that, really care deeply and passionately about crypto. And our audience shares those values between the Bit Squad and what do you call yours? The Altcoin Dailyans?
The Altcoin Daily Army.
Oh, the Altcoin Daily Army.
Militant.
The Altcoin Daily Army. Absolutely incredible. And obviously, you guys know you're two of my favorite guests that come on blockchain, that come on around the blockchain each week. Glad you guys participate in that. And you can, share your perspective with my audience as well.
Yeah, and you're one of my favorite peers in the space. Always like to see you succeed. Thanks for being on today, Ben.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.